The Cutie REWIRED mod just dropped, and only people who are like FNF OGs probably remember this one because we haven't seen this character since 2022 maybe. In this video, I want to go over her backstory and why she's battling boyfriend in the first place. Now, for those of you that don't know, even though Cutie looks like a human, she's actually an android that was created by a person named Gabriel. And I believe the facility that she was made in was called the Brutality Labs. And she was originally designed to act as like a therapy robot and also as a way to fight against something called insecurities. And I know listening to that, you probably think I'm talking about like normal insecurities, but the way that the developers make it sound is like there's some type of actual creature that Cutie had to fight against. But we don't really have a lot of information about them now, but hopefully in the mods that's going to come out next, we'll get a little more information about them. Now, at this point in Cutie's life, it seems like she's been through a lot, right? Between being like a therapy robot, fighting against these insecurities, and at one point apparently she was a hitman. So now she just wants to live a simple life and act as like a regular human. So when she sees boyfriend walking down the alleyway, she asks him just to come along and sing with her. She's not even trying to like do anything nefarious or try to attack him or anything like that. And things don't actually go south until KB, or aka Killer Bite, comes out. And for what I understand about him, he basically acts as like a parasite in Cutie's body and behaves like a overprotective big brother. And when I think of their relationship, I think of like the Upper Six in Demon Slayer.
Come on now, there's no use crying about it. Aw, is that a burn on your face?
Well, I don't think Cutie is weak by any means. I think that Killer Bite is definitely the stronger of the two. Now, part of the reason that Killer Bite is so aggressive is that he actually lost his memory when he was turned into this robot creature. Apparently, he used to be a human security guard, but he had his life taken by a person named Yama, who I believe works in the same facility that created Cutie. And then when his mind was being placed into Killer Bite, it actually fractured in a way. And I believe there's going to be a mod in the future called Inhuman that's going to probably reveal more about their backstory and the people who are like responsible for creating them and doing them harm. So I'm interested to see how that actually plays out. Now, here are a couple of fun facts that I found about these two. One being that KB does actually feel pain, which I know surprised me because he's a robot, but he only feels about 40% of the pain that a regular human would feel, which is a pretty big deal because that means that he can tank some serious damage and just keep on going. As far as I know for Cutie though, she feels pain just like a regular person, so she gets the full 100%, which is interesting considering that she is the host, so I would assume that if she goes down, Killer Bite is kind of screwed as well. Something else that I found interesting about these two is that apparently they run on a special battery that never runs out of energy, which is kind of convenient for these two, but it also tells us the level of technology that their creators are able to actually make, which makes you even more curious to know like what their story is going to be. A fun fact about like the mod in general is that at this point here, we see that boyfriend is doing this little dance. Now, if my memory serves me, I think this is a reference to the Caramella Girls, I think is what they're called, dance. And the video that this came from is like 12 years old by now, but I remember looking at these girls and thinking they were so creepy just because of those large, unblinking, lifeless eyes. They always just creep me out. Next, we see that even though Cutie looks like a little girl, she's actually 19 years old and she's actually 5'2" and about 115 pounds. The only reason that she looks so small in the mod is because she's based on Pico's sprite. And while the two of them can technically be separated, they would prefer not to be because of how close they've become, but also because it would cause Cutie a ton of pain, and then KB would just have to find another worthy host, which could be hard. All in all, I look forward to seeing what this mod does next because this was one of my favorite characters back in the day, so I'm happy to see that her story is going to get fully fleshed out. I will definitely be covering the update when it drops, but with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, check out this video on the screen here, subscribe to Diddy, become a member of the Orseofkorse, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Peace, peace.